Okay, welcome back to the People's Cabinet. So this is a president who likes to think of himself as pro-worker and tries to build that brand. And we're coming up on Labor Day, so I want to particularly dive down on this. So the U.S. Department of Labor on Monday put out this tweet with the president's face and American workers first, celebrating, in their view, Donald Trump as someone who's American workers first. There is no president in modern history who has done less for workers than Donald Trump. Let me take you through a little bit why. Donald Trump has proposed cutting more than a third of the Department of Labor's budget. Now, a lot of people don't know what the Department of Labor is, and I was chief of staff there, so I can help explain it. There are two particular areas that I want to dive down that he has proposed cutting and he's already stopped operations for. One is the Job Corps. Job Corps is about a $2 billion program that targets at-risk youth, puts them in dormitories, and gives them job training. Every study out there shows that if you get youth involved in job training early and get them a well-paying job, that puts them on the path to more prosperity, less likely to commit crimes, etc. Donald Trump is proposing to cut that completely. He is also cutting a program, about $400 million worth, that helps train seniors in new jobs. So if you are a senior and you are looking for a job, say at the local library, but the library doesn't have the budget for it, this budget fills that gap so that you're putting seniors to work. That allows them to live more productive lives, reduces their sense of isolation, etc. Donald Trump is proposing eliminating those programs entirely. It is one thing if you then say, well, does he think that they're not effective? And that's what the cover story is. But even if you take the money that they are cutting from these programs, you're still leaving billions that they're cutting overall. So it's not like they're taking that money and reinvesting it somewhere else. They're just cutting it completely. So again, this notion of putting workers first is just a crock. Secondly, the Department of Labor, obviously in a functioning agency, is working closely with unions. And Trump has said in the past that he has, quote, dealt with unions his whole life, and that he has a great relationship with the unions. But on March 27, 2025, roughly 80% of unionized federal workers across more than 30 agencies, this includes VA, Defense, Health and Human Services, lost their collective bargaining rights, okay? This is on top of them canceling the TSA union contract, another 50,000 officers. So overnight, you're talking more than 1 million people lost their collective bargaining because of this executive order that Donald Trump signed, that he unilaterally decided to strip over 1 million people of their collective bargaining rights. These are the things that are a little complicated to explain, so they get rolled under the table, and Donald Trump gets away with it. There's more on this. He also fashions himself as a friend of coal. He talks a lot about coal miners. He talks about how he is pro-coal. But behind the scenes, he is doing the same thing. He is saying that he's for something, but behind the scenes, stripping the very programs that make these things work. There is a program that screens miners for black lung disease. It is a fatal lung disease that career miners, 1 in 5, get. As you can imagine, they're inhaling a lot down in the mines. And there used to be a program in which mobile clinics would park. They would screen miners for black lung disease and make sure that they weren't afflicted with it. Trump has gutted that program. Anita Wolf, a former mobile clinic worker, said it best. She said, "It comes down to how much a life is worth. You want more coal, but you don't care about the coal miners and what's happening to them." This is not just a few isolated incidents. There are so many examples of Donald Trump saying one thing and doing the other. You have a president who is taking away 1 million people's collective bargaining rights at the same time he's hanging his face on the Department of Labor. You have a president who is gutting miner health and taking away screening vans for miners with black lung disease while saying he's for miners. You have a president who is taking away $2 billion worth of youth job programs and taking away $400 million worth of senior programs while claiming that he is pro-worker, okay? This is the real story of the president's labor reputation, his actions that will be felt for generations to come. Happy Labor Day, and let's not forget who's actually fighting for workers, and it's certainly not our president. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the People's Cabinet. If you did, please like, subscribe, ring that bell, and tell us who else you would like to see sworn in. And let us know in the comments what other topics you'd like us to cover. Let's go.